כן, זה יקרה.
Remember, you
Mine.
should start with your name.
אוי, אני לא רואה כלום.
Name, name.
Present
I
yourself.
will present my name.
Oh. Ooh.
Okay. So, have you ever thought about a world without poetry? A world where you cannot decide whether to get married in a liberal way or conservative way? A world where students cannot stretch in classes because there won't be classrooms. A world where you cannot debate whether a death penalty or abortion is ethical. A world where you cannot tell your children original fairy tales or the ones we grew up on. A world where we cannot live. So today my name is Rui, and today I'm going to tell you what is the best thing that you can do to prevent the beginning of the end of the world that will start in 12 years from now. And why do I tell you such a horrible, shocking news? Well, that's because the most leading climate scientists warned us that we have 12 years to prevent the increase of global warming in 1.5 Celsius degrees. Otherwise, even half degree will worsen the risks of drought, floods, extreme heat, and poverty for hundreds of millions of people. And why, as our friend Asaf mentioned, we are all passengers in this huge but limited spaceship which called Earth. Our way of life, our choices, our lifestyle have a huge impact on the climate change. I'm really concerned about it. Think about your life in 12 years from now. Think about your children's life and children's life. Okay? So we are all familiar with burning fossil fuels as a cause of global warming. When we produce electricity from fossil fuels like coal and gas, when we fly on a plane, when we drive a car, carbon dioxide is released to the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide is one of the greenhouse gases. It stays in the atmosphere and prevents the heat that comes from the sun to leave the atmosphere and Earth become warmer. But the main reason for the global warming is actually animal farming, animal agriculture. Cows and sheep, when they digest their food, they produce methane. Methane is another greenhouse gas, and usually carbon dioxide is painted as the bad boys of the greenhouse gases, but it's actually methane, which is roughly 30 times more potent as heat-trapping gas than carbon dioxide. Okay. So, animal agriculture, its effects on the environment. Animal agriculture requires masses of grain, and particularly when we talk about red meat, 1 kilogram of meat requires 25 kilograms of grain. This grain could feed a human instead. It could feed actually 3.5 billion people. In the US, for example, 70% of the grain that produced goes to the animals. Earth get warmer. And also, if we cut or burn bushland, vegetation, and trees, the carbon that was stored in them released to the atmosphere, and again, Earth become warmer. And we're doing it not because we need the space to live for our existence, but because we have this unnecessary habit in our diet and lifestyle. Animal agriculture doesn't only release greenhouse gases, but it also causes land degradation, air pollution, acidification, water pollution, loss of biodiversity. It affects the forest, it affects the food, the water we drink, and the air we breathe. So there are many health organizations that recommend the plant-based diet, which is good not only for us, but also for the planet. There was a big study that made recently, and it assessed the impact of farming on the environment. It shows that dairy and meat industry provide us only 18% of our calories, but it uses 83% of farmland. In this picture, we can see cattle in a forest in Brazil. This is an illegal settlement. And this is a microcosm that replicates in the Amazon, where thousands of hectares of land is are prey for illegal woodcutters, stock breeders, and gold miners. The study shows that without meat and dairy consumption, global farmland use could be reduced by more than 75%. This area equals to the US, China, the European Union, and Australia put together, and can still feed the world. Loss of wild area for agriculture is the leading cause of mass extinction of wildlife.
Oh my God, this is a sad picture.
So the big analysis shows that dairy and meat industry provide us only 18% of our calories, only 37% of our protein, but it uses 83% of farmland. And it is responsible for almost 60% of the greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture. Another study showed that 86% of all land mammals are human and livestock. And this study that was made shows that even the most sustainable meat and dairy production has still damage on the environment, much more than plant production. So the big study, checked 40,000 farms in 119 countries. It covers 40 food products that represent 90% of the food we're eating. And it shows that it assessed not only the greenhouse gas emissions, but also air pollution, acidification, water pollution, land use, and water use, fresh water use. And it shows that vegan diet is actually is the single thing that you can do to reduce so much of the damage that animal agriculture does. And it is much better than buying electric car or cut down your where there is barely oxygen. And this is a perfect environment for producing methane, which is again a strong greenhouse gas. So the way we produce, consume, and waste food is extremely unsustainable. If we were thinking about the obesity crisis, changing diet, reducing livestock products and increasing fruit and vegetable consumption will make us and the planet more healthier. This is Greta Thunberg. She talked in Katowice Conference of Global Warming in Poland lately. You can find her amazing talk on TED on YouTube. And she said, maybe she talked about her future grandchildren, maybe they will ask me about you. The people who were around back in 2018, maybe they will ask why you didn't do anything. Again, today we have 12 years. The situation is still reversible. In 12 years from now, the situation will be irreversible. So my question to you guys, what do you choose? Do you choose to be part of the solution or part of the problem? Will you change your eating habits, or will you be responsible for climate change catastrophe? By the way, tomorrow there is a big climate march in Tel Aviv. You are welcome to join.
Ooh.